I'm assuming you guys are just kind of getting your coffee on, or getting to work. I'm on the East Coast. I'm on Central Time, so it's 8 o'clock here. So anybody on the East Coast, you know, this is getting your day started off properly. First off, so maybe you guys are you know, just kind of like getting settled in. What are you talking about here? Okay, so I got my monitor feed on. I just use my phone for monitoring because it makes it kind of easy. I can put this thing on my desk, right? Throw on my Bluetooth headphones, and we're good to go. So now we're pretty much set up for a good live feed right now. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this wiki link into the chat here. So if you guys want to get into it, this is primarily what this is about. Is you know, it's a way of me kind of telling the story. So I'm going to get into the Melanin Code here. You can see I've got some of the artwork up for this particular group. This is like one of my day ones, one of the early concepts I had. I'm going to move this folder here because it's messing up visually. So one of the first, like, you know, parts of the story I started to get involved. So right now it's a live wiki. That's the main thing I've got going with this. It's a live wiki, so you can definitely get in and just check out the channel as much, check out the story as much as you want, right? That's what it's there for. You guys can comment, you can give your, you know, you guys are kind of my live stress test, right? As it were. You guys literally are my live stress test. So there's a link. Everyone should have it in both chats right now. So get after it, man. Like, get into it. It's a great place. Obviously, it's safe data. For me, no one can, like, you know, change anything or really copy it. And so I feel good about it. So let's start. We're going to start off learning a little bit about the Melanin Code. This is a good organization. So I'm gonna get it rolling for you guys here, and I'll shut up here.
Classification: restricted. Threat index: variable, escalating. Operational status: active. Visibility: obscured through public-facing shell entities. Organization overview. Designation: the Melanin Code. Type: Biotechnological Research Collective and Esoteric Science Order. Primary function: human potential optimization through melanin-based enhancement.
So for what you just heard, Hakeer, the Melanin Code is really what its structure is. That they're here to help manipulate human genetics, and they're exploring it through melanin. And yes, everyone has melanin. That's going to be important of how we pull it out. So that's the why with the Melanin Code.
Primary function: human potential optimization through melanin-based enhancement. Secondary function: strategic human development, selective empowerment, long-term species leverage. The Melanin Code operates at the intersection of advanced biotechnology, forbidden anthropology, and ancient metaphysical science. Publicly, it exists as a loose network of research foundations, supplement companies, think tanks, and academic grant programs. Privately, it functions as a precision instrument designed to unlock latent capacities embedded within human biology. Melanin is not treated as pigment. It is treated as code.
From a scientific standpoint, they kind of go back to what the ancient world said about melanin in this new research that they're doing based on what they know about melanin. Again, it's not just a pigment, right? That's the definitive part. It's actually a code. And they're trying to unlock this code so they can unlock human potential.
Core philosophy. The Melanin Code rejects the modern scientific consensus that melanin is biologically passive beyond ultraviolet protection. The organization asserts that melanin is a multifunctional biointerface capable of interacting with electromagnetic fields, vibrational frequencies, emotional states, and possibly extra-dimensional forces. Their central belief is simple and dangerous. Humanity was never meant to be equal. It was meant to be capable. They do not seek equality. They seek activation. Research domains. Melanin resonance biology. The study of melanin's interaction with electromagnetic, solar, and vibrational energy. Research includes neural conductivity, accelerated healing responses, and heightened perceptual states. Genetic memory encoding. Investigation into whether melanin functions as a biological storage medium for ancestral memory, instinctive knowledge, and inherited trauma. Psycho-emotional amplification. Exploration of emotional states such as fear, rage, faith, and love as catalytic forces when combined with enhanced melanin density. Controlled human augmentation. Selective enhancement programs producing individuals with heightened strength, endurance, cognition, or sensory acuity. Results vary widely. Some subjects awaken. Others break. Facilities and structure. Primary hub. A concealed research complex located in Micronesia, officially funded through
This is kind of where it enters, the secret society level. Like, I specifically stationed them out in Micronesia because I want to add that air of mystique to them, like give them something like, there's hidden organization, right? So
Primary hub. A concealed research complex located in Micronesia, officially funded through layered shell organizations and offshore scientific initiatives. Personnel count. Approximately 60 core researchers and specialists, referred to internally as the flower. Organizational structure. Cell-based. Researchers rarely possess full visibility of adjacent projects. Knowledge is compartmentalized by design. Leadership identities are deliberately obscured. Strategic decisions appear to originate from a small, unseen council. Funding streams. Corporate biotechnology partnerships. Supplement and wellness industries. Betting syndicates and underground enhancement markets. Religious and esoteric benefactors. Black budget research grants disguised as humanitarian science. Funding is not a constraint. Silence is the true currency. Field applications. The Melanin Code does not operate openly within conflict zones, but its influence manifests indirectly. Enhanced fighters appear in illegal combat leagues. Subjects with unexplained cognitive advancements emerge in academic circles. Individuals with abnormal resilience survive circumstances they should not. When results draw attention, the organization withdraws. When results fail, the subjects disappear. Ethical position. Ethics are considered a luxury of stable civilizations. The Melanin Code operates under the assumption that humanity is approaching a threshold event, whether technological, cosmic, or existential. Their work is framed as preparation rather than cruelty. Collateral damage is logged. Success is archived. Failures are erased. Current assessment. The Melanin Code represents one of the most dangerous non-state actors operating within human civilization, not through overt aggression, but through direction. They are not asking if humanity can evolve. They are deciding who gets to. If left unchecked, the organization may shape the next phase of human development long before the world realizes a decision was made. Executive Science Leadership. Dr. Audrey Kingston Drake. Role: Director of Melanin Resonance Biology. Specialty: Electromagnetic Bioconductivity and Neural Resonance. Profile: cold, surgical, and indifferent to academic peer review. She views melanin as a living interface, closer to circuitry than pigment. Known for advancing human trials just short of irreversible damage. Internal reputation. She listens to data, not screams. Dr. Ezekiel Moore. Role: Chief Genetic Architect. Specialty: Epigenetics and Ancestral Memory Encoding. Profile: former Ivy League prodigy who vanished from public academia after publishing a paper that was quietly buried. convinced that melanin stores generational memory in a manner similar to digital code. Internal reputation. History is not written, it is inherited. Dr. Safiya El-Rashid. Role: lead neuropsych researcher. Specialty: psycho-emotional amplification and trauma thresholds. Profile: focused on emotional states as power multipliers. Believes fear and love activate distinct neural channels. Maintains detailed emotional maps of every subject. Internal reputation. She can predict when you will break down to the minute. Medical operations and field science. Dr. Lionel Voss. Role: Chief Medical Officer. Specialty: augmented human stabilization and recovery protocols. Profile: responsible for keeping subjects alive long enough to remain useful. Pragmatic, detached, and quietly burdened by the cost of success. Internal reputation. The janitor of miracles. Dr. Keisha Rowe. Role: combat physiology specialist. Specialty: musculoskeletal enhancement and endurance thresholds. Profile: former military contractor. Designs enhanced bodies with structural precision, calculating exact failure points. Internal reputation. She builds monsters that still pass physicals. Dr. Pavel Antonov. Role: cellular regeneration researcher. Specialty: accelerated healing and cellular longevity. Profile: publicly declared dead following a laboratory accident in Eastern Europe. Privately responsible for the organization's most extreme regeneration trials. Internal reputation. If it heals wrong, it still heals. Applied and Esoteric Science Division. Dr. Nkairu Okafor. Role: biovibrational systems scientist. Specialty: sound, frequency, and melanin interaction. Profile: blends physics with ritual acoustics. Claims certain frequencies activate melanin. Results remain inconsistent but powerful when successful. Internal reputation. Science with drums and equations. Dr. Thomas Velasquez. Role: metabolic energy researcher. Specialty: solar absorption and thermal regulation. Profile: investigates whether enhanced bodies can metabolize environmental energy directly. Several subjects ceased normal caloric intake. Internal reputation. Trying to unplug humans from food. Observation and control. Dr. Helena Weiss. Role: behavioral compliance analyst. Specialty: conditioning, loyalty mapping, post-enhancement psychology. Profile: concerned only with whether enhanced subjects remain controllable. Designs psychological failsafes disguised as therapy. Internal reputation. Smiles before pulling the plug. Protective and operations divisions. Clearance level: black. Distribution: internal only. The Melanin Code operates 3 distinct security divisions designed for information control, containment, and final consequence. The Blackbirds. Intelligence and Counterintelligence Wing. Global Reach.
Sorry guys, I keep doing that. It's my bad. I wanted to show you the Blackbirds as it started getting to the security division. Where are they at? Melanin Code. Alright, let's see if I can get the Blackbirds, man. Yeah, let's use this one right here. So this is some of the artwork that I'm using for the Blackbirds. This character right here kind of exemplifies them. It's not an all-woman military force, by the way. Like,
global reach. Near zero visibility. Responsible for surveillance. Global reach. Intelligence and the Blackbirds. Intelligence and Counterintelligence Wing. Global reach. Near zero visibility. Responsible for surveillance, infiltration, digital interception, and preemptive threat identification. Internal reputation. If the birds are involved, it is already too late. The Sentinels. Containment and Asset Protection Unit. Rotational deployment. Low visibility. Responsible for facility security, transport, and emergency response.
Let me get up. Like, this is kind of one. This is more some concept art for the Sentinels. But this kind of shows you here. This is kind of a more heavily armored. In fact, this is probably, I probably won't go with this. Yeah, I don't know. But you can see just a more heavily kind of armored unit. These guys are kind of more the day-to-day. And you know what? I just decided I'm not, because this is like not really the day-to-day look I want. You know, I can't really see them rolling around. But I had some other, like, this is probably the best example. I'll give you this example here. This is actually the best examples for like the day-to-day Sentinel, right, who works the island. You know, I still wanted them to be kind of personal, right, personable, right, and still see them as people. They work here, they're highly trained, they're all professional, and that's kind of the vibe I wanted to get for the Melanin Code, right, like their security force. So let's keep it rolling here.
Rotational deployment. Low visibility. Responsible for facility security, transport, and emergency response. Internal reputation. They do not talk. They do not miss. The Wardens. Enforcement and Failure Response Unit. Limited deployment. Classified visibility. Activated only for catastrophic breaches or irrecoverable failures. Internal reputation. If the Wardens arrive, the report writes itself. Strategic overview. The three divisions function as a layered defense system. The Blackbirds prevent threats before they form. The Sentinels protect what must endure. The Wardens erase what cannot continue. The Melanin Code does not rule through fear. It survives through information.
Blackbirds are just more of a, you know, more of a kind of like eyes and ears everywhere. They just kind of monitor, you know, like the structure, right? Secure, you know, the online access, all that stuff kind of falls under the Blackbirds. And they also work as spies in other organizations. So those are kind of the elite spies. The Sentinels are the day-to-day guys. They actually are going to be the ones that make sure our servers are up and running, that all the data is protected, that there's no breaches, right, around the island that they're on, this Micronesian island. I wonder if I have that image of the island, because it's really cool. Let me see if I can give you guys an island view. Man, I'm telling you, man, as a sci-fi fan, I love this part of the story. I mean, you can kind of see it in this top image here, that it's out, you know, it's out. I haven't gotten an island view, man. I got to get you guys an island view if I really thought about that. But primarily, this is how they get there. This is a cutaway of one of the buildings here. And you can check that out. Like, so this is kind of like, you know, this is just a cutaway, so you can see inside like one of the living spaces, like how the living spaces actually look. And man, I'm really hype about that. So this, like I said, this is an organization that is geared towards developing advanced humans. This is where they're going to come into it with Hakeer, and I'm going to break out like even how this whole thing goes down, because this is the ultra stealth group of people, right? The Melanin Code, and they give it all to you, man. So you can kind of see, you know, just an outlier of what their what kind of how their facilities look like. And this is some cool stuff here. This is actually some pretty cool stuff here. I'm going to show you this. And I probably shouldn't, man. I probably shouldn't even trust all you guys with all this insider info. But, man, that's what we do. Right? Is that one going to show up here? Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is just like the view out of one of the offices. So, again, this is out in Micronesia. It's the same. This is out in Micronesia. Like, I'm operating... My background is essentially one of the Melanin Code's offices, right? So that's kind of what you're seeing. Oh man, I got a text from somebody. Oh yeah, I did that already. So that's essentially the setting that you get, which is just dope, right? Which is just insane. So that's where we operate at. So this is where, like, our, I talked about Hakeer yesterday, and you guys can go back and check out any of the files. I'm gonna have this whole dossier. It's available on the wiki right now. You can go and just anytime you feel like bumping around into it. If you're kind of into that stuff, it's a good. Sitting at your office, you enjoy Marvel or whatever, and you enjoy wikis. It's starting to be that kind of wiki because I'm going into detail. And all these dossier files, I'll make those into separate videos, just so if you guys ever want to go back and listen to it, like without me chirping all the way through it, you can go back and do that. So essentially, this is what it looks like, and let's roll this. Cause I want to get to the end because there's some other cool stuff I'm actually gonna show you guys too.
It survives through information, preparation, and inevitability. End of archival entry. When you're done going live, just say the word.
That's essentially the entire file. What else I was going to show you is, so it's in this stealth setting, and I'll cover it up here. All right. So it's in this absolutely stealth setting. Let's remove a couple of things. And how do they get to this stealth setting? They're way out in the middle of nothing on the Micronesian islands. And to that, I would say that's a brilliant question, man. This is a great question. Now, I'm going to introduce this, and even I had to pause. Okay? Even I had to pause on this one. So, this is their mode of operation, right? This is a highly advanced kind of, it's not just a hovercraft. It's not a helicopter exclusively. This isn't truly an all-terrain device, man. This thing goes everywhere. It's designed to work underwater. It obviously has a jet mode on it. So this is everything, man. This is one of the dopest creations I've got. If you watch the files, flip up there. I got a whole dossier already built on breaking this thing down, right? This is the dossier on their transport mode, right? They call it loosely splash or deep wing. This is what they call it. It's deep wing because it's got the capacity to go underwater, right? As well as operate as a jet and a hovercraft. You can't drive it. It's the only thing you cannot do, literally, is drive it. But it does operate as a hovercraft, and I'll get a little bit more of that, man. But you know what? That might be a cool one to get into the wiki on. And you know what? I just happen to already have it loaded up, right? So I got a whole dossier file on this implement here. This is their vehicle, and this will tell you a little bit more about who the melanin code is, how they're rolling, and yeah, this is good. Okay, let's get into this.
Vehicle dossier insert. Deep wing. Multimodal covert transport platform. Affiliation. The melanin code. Clearance level. Black. Operational status. Active. Visibility. Near zero. Primary role. Infiltration extraction strategic mobility. Legacy engineering acronym. SPLASH. Deprecated internal reference only. Designation overview. Call sign. Deep wing. Classification. Special purpose land air subsea hovercraft. Operational doctrine. Borderless access. Deep wing is not classified as an aircraft. It is not classified as a vehicle. It is not classified as a submersible. It is classified as a solution. Deep wing exists to move people, intelligence, and assets through environments where jurisdiction tracking and conventional response systems fail. It was designed around a single principle. If the terrain can be defined, deep wing can ignore it. Operational modes. Land mode. In land mode, deep wing functions as a hovercraft utilizing electromagnetic hover propulsion. It is terrain agnostic and capable of operating across urban jungle, desert, and ice environments. Ground contact is minimal and the acoustic profile is heavily suppressed. This mode is used for perimeter insertion, urban recovery, and silent approach operations. Air mode. In air mode, deep wing utilizes vertical takeoff and landing through a dual rotor system. Once airborne, it transitions to retractable jet propulsion for high-speed transit. The hull incorporates radar-absorbent materials with adaptive signal masking. In this configuration, Deepwing can function briefly as a conventional helicopter before shifting into high-velocity jet travel. Subsea mode. In subsea mode, Deepwing operates as a mini-submersible. The hull is fully pressure-sealed. Magnetic propulsion enables silent underwater movement. The exterior skin disrupts sonar and nullifies wake signatures. This allows Deepwing to disappear beneath coastlines, ports, oil platforms, and naval patrol grids without detection. Interior configuration. Deepwing's interior is modular, restrained, and deliberately non-militaristic. It is designed for high-value mines, not expendable operators. Standard configuration includes shock-isolated command seating, encrypted holographic display panels, environmental stabilization for pressure, oxygen and temperature, emergency medical interface ports, and a secure data vault with black box recorder. The cabin can function as a mobile briefing room, a recovery and stabilization chamber, or a silent intelligence transit space. Stealth and defensive systems. Deepwing incorporates adaptive visual and thermal camouflage, signal scrambling and false echo broadcasting, EMP-hardened avionics, and a classified countermeasure suite. Deepwing does not seek engagement. Its primary defense is absence. Crew and operation. Deepwing is operated by a multimodal certified pilot utilizing a neural-linked interface. Systems are AI-assisted with optional co-pilot support. Capacity includes 4 to 6 high-value personnel or 2 critical subjects with containment systems. Deepwing is often flown by pilots cleared through the Blackbirds trained in intelligence insertion rather than combat maneuvering. Strategic value. Deepwing enables scientist relocation without trace, secure movement of enhanced assets, black site access without fixed infrastructure, and emergency extraction from compromised zones. It is most commonly assigned to head of research movements, intelligence command insertions, and sensitive subject retrieval and disappearance. If Deepwing is deployed, it means the Melanin Code anticipated the situation long before anyone else noticed it existed. Internal reputation. Deepwing does not cross borders. Borders move around it. If you heard it, you are already too late. Archival assessment. Deepwing reflects the melanin.
I mean, look at the interior of this ship, right? Like, that's it right there. Man, you guys can't see a big image, but you can see a nice big image, clear image, if you go check out the dossier, right? Like, it's live for you there. All the stuff will be in video format. Like, I'll make sure all the individual dossiers get broken out. But I just kind of want to get into, you know, in general, what the Melanin Code really was. You know, kind of break down some of the files, and I'm going to share some more with you because I do want to get to, there's a whole nother set of stuff I wanted to get to. Since we're here, like since we're in this block, I got some other people I want to talk. Let me see if I can find this one. This will be a real treat for you guys here. Let me see, I'm trying to find her profile here. Yeah, I got a doctor here. Let me copy this in here. And so this will kind of get you a little bit more into like the staff, or at least like I'm going to humanize it right now. I'm going to show you what my leadership is looking like over here. And this is a great character that's going to be super incredibly central to the story, and I got to make sure she's up in the dossier file. So right now you guys are getting just raw file. Like this is definitely an old a character that's been around, one of my first characters. I'm gonna get it rolling, and I'll bring up, you know, let me get the images for you guys now, just so you guys know exactly who we're talking about, since I do have images. This is the brain down here at the Melanin Code. Where are you at? Too many characters, guys, I'm telling you. So, alright, this is the one I'll go with here. Right. go with this one here. Okay. So this is my doctor profile. This is the doctor that we're talking about here. She's not in the dossier yet. I'll make sure I get this added to it today. But we can get into the character file a little bit. This is great to get into a character profile.
Dr. Audrey Kingston Drake, character profile. Role, Chief Scientist and Medical Officer, the Melanin Code. Age, 37, 40. Origin, proud daughter of foundational Black Americans, earned undergraduate degree at an HBCU, PhD from a top research university in biophysics and molecular genetics. Her graduate thesis becomes the seed of the Melanin Code movement. Base, Melanin Code Research Annex, a converted institute on the island HQ. Core concept thesis. Audrey's central claim, melanin is not merely a pigment, it's an active bioquantum interface that couples biological systems to fundamental forces. Her research argues melanin can resonate with and mediate gravity, electromagnetism, strong and weak nuclear bonds, dark force energy, time, space, and subtle vibrational soul energies. Her thesis, Melanin as a multimodal transducer of natural force, uses experimental biophysics and theoretical models linking melanin's structure to force coupling coefficients. The Melanin Code started as her thesis lab group and became a social scientific movement organization after she published promising preliminary results. Scientific discipline and methods. Primary, biophysics, quantum biology plus molecular genetics plus systems neurobiology. Lab methods tech she pioneered. Resonant chamber arrays. Spectroresonant melanin mapping. Melanin matrix bioscaffolds. Electromagnetic gravimetric coupling assays. CRISPR-adjacent epigenetic modulation studies. Nonlinear signal analysis for cycotide correlations. Signature invention, the Drake Resonant Array, a ring of melanin-coated nodes that can amplify or buffer ambient forces at biological scales. Personality and presence. Brilliant, calm, slightly austere in public, with a warm, protective undercurrent when she's with those she cares for. Pragmatic idealist, believes science is a tool for liberation but knows institutions will try to weaponize it. Appearance, mid-length natural hair with subtle silver streak highlights, compact glasses with AR overlays, lab coat reworked with Afrofuturist trims. Analytical, compelling public speaker when needed. Ethical compass and conflict. She's committed to community uplift, but her methods flirt with morally ambiguous territory. Internal tension, wants to protect people versus pressure to scale results for defense commerce. This makes her vulnerable to offers from Novus Vitae La Princessa or coercive interest from the Grigori. She fights a personal demon, academic dismissal early in her career when a rival tried to smear her as pseudoscience, drives her stubbornness. Allies and relationships. Allies, Melanin Code Core, Orzit's flower backers, select fighters, certain sympathetic Orishos Earth allies. Rivals enemies, Novus Vitae La Princessa, Grigori tech agents seeking control, opportunistic governments, and mercenary groups. Personal, close mentorship network from her HBCU, keeps family ties tight. Story hooks and plot beats. Thesis movement, her PhD dataset leaks and goes viral, activists rebrand it as a liberation tech. She must control the narrative. Weaponization temptation, Novus.
So yeah, a deep character, and she has enough gravity as a character herself to spin off in a couple of different ways that I'm probably not going to get that deep into. So right now I'm going to go back in the lab, just kind of present you guys with a little more data as I kind of start fine-tuning the story. I've got some early animation stuff I'm going to start leaking out here as I kind of start building the audience here. This is primarily what this audience is for, or this platform is for. The main thing is, as a writer, as a creator, we're always trying to find ways to kind of display our work and kind of cut in front of the line, as it were. And man, I think I got something, right? And it's something I want to share. I'm excited to share. I feel really good about it. I'm very confident in it. I know my look is good. I feel like my storyline is extremely tight. So I'm inviting everybody in, right? You've got the wiki, so the wiki's kind of in place of the website, so you can go there and without me having to do any hosting and nonsense, right? So you can go there, you can start getting to the characters. There'll be character artwork on, there. So I totally get how we as a sci-fi kind of fantasy audience like to get, like to get our media, right? We like to get it in depth. We like precision, right? We like wikis about our favorite show. So I figured this would be a good way for me to start just growing it, for you guys to start learning it, because it's a world that I've constructed that should last for a really, really long time, right? That's essentially what I'm building here, something that has got some real legs to it. So what I'm gonna do now is I just got my first sip of coffee. This is usually kind of I get a little me time in for a little bit and relax, but I think I'm gonna come back after that and give you guys another session. In the meantime, I'm gonna start prepping all this stuff. So anyway, thanks for stopping in. Make sure you click that like and subscribe. Give me a little bit of love over here, because it's gonna matter quantum leap for me. It's gonna make a huge difference for me, especially at this story, man. I love this. Is something that to me, man, I'm like, come on, Netflix, man, even Tubi, holler at me, right? And I got a whole series that's ready to bust off. I fear it, like, man, because I'm telling you, without going into, man, it's a lot of challenges out there for an author, man. It's a lot. And I've worked in the industry to help people get their books published, and man, they're gonna milk you for everything. Like, they really try and still skip like the core things that you need. Like, how do you get your book out there? How do you talk about your book? Well, I'm going about it this way, right? I figure I can get right in front of people and share a good story. You can see this translates to audiobooks really easy. And in fact, that's kind of what I'm giving you, is like an audiobook session. So maybe we'll go back into it and we'll start off that way. But I'm just giving you guys some core, and I'm going to appreciate you guys if you hit that like, if you hit the subscribe, if you're not already a fan. I do talk about other stuff. I talk about mythology and all that. But I'm like, man, if I'm talking about that stuff, why shouldn't I be talking about me, right? Trying to get my thing, going. So here it is, Nine World Chronicles, kind of getting to that prep mode. Definitely going to be a comic. I'm going to continue to give you guys a lot of info, and I'm kind of, like I said, I'm kind of building it for a graphic novel. Like, I'm doing some of the animation myself, which you guys know that's a ton of work too. So that's where it is right now. So this is a way for me to start leaking it out, maybe generate some support, and but main thing is, let's build an audience of people who enjoy learning Nine World Chronicles. But like I said, I'm going to check out now. I'll be back later on. I know another angle I wanted to come at with you guys in the world building part of it.